Welcome to another edition of Living Simply and Fun. I'm your host, Aries, and this is Aaron. Today we want to talk about a couple things. We were having dinner and we were talking about, let's talk about dinner first. I tried a thing today, I think it's in here somewhere. Here it is, called Knorr Rice Size. Menu flavors, Thai curry. This stuff is really good and it complements my sausage, which... Is there any liquid in this time?
Might be.
Cheddar Pino Lando Frost is what I had. He had some Western Family hot sausages.
I have to take credit for getting her addicted to that Thai curry. I fell in love with that like 2 months ago, and I made her take a sample bite, and then she wanted to buy some of her own. So.
Well, I was going to buy a lot more, but he was like, oh, here's the last 3 at Walmart.
Yeah, so. Well, Walmart sold out, and I was going to buy them all, and then there was only 6 of them, or 5 of them, so I gave 3 to Rita because I had one.
So, anyways, today's topic is going to be broke down into 4 small topics, so don't worry. First one is sacrifice.
The sacrifice. It's sometimes something that we all have to do, and we have to weigh the pros and cons of everything that we do. I mean, we might really want something like a new car or a new video game or something, but at the same time, we might have something else that we have to have done, like dental work or something like that, medicines. Heck, we might even want to go on a vacation or something. You have to pick and choose what it is that you're going to do. And sometimes you don't necessarily want to because it'll change your life in some way that you're not used to. I made a sacrifice when I came from Cleveland out here. It was either stay back there and deal with what I had going on back there, come out here and deal with what I'd find out here, which I had no idea what I'd find out here. So I ended up leaving.
Don't forget, for example, his sacrifice also, and I'm going to say this, is when I was talking to Aaron on the phone, and we were talking, one of the things Aaron told me when he came out on the 7th of August, I remember we had a meal, I think it was the 8th of August at the pub. Mm-hmm. He basically said, and he had the coronary burger, that's a joke, it's like 2 meat patties, everything, and then he stacked up.
It was based off a sandwich that one of my friends created when I was working at kind of a bar and grill back in Ohio. And he took 2 half-pound patties and mozzarella cheese, Swiss cheese, and provolone, and 4 strips of bacon per each slice of meat, and clam strips with mushrooms and onions, and just stacked it, and the thing was loaded. But I had a craving for one of those, sort of. I didn't want that much, but, well, Rita here insisted I get the entire thing, and I had leftovers.
Anyways,
I couldn't actually eat it. I had to, slice it and cut it.
Yeah, well, anyways, the story is, we were at the pub, I believe, and he said he had to make sacrifice with either coming out here to start a new life, pretty much, or stay there, go through hell with what his father and his friends are doing, or come out here, but he had to sacrifice May, his cat.
Yes, and my cat died shortly after I left, which was very sad to me, but it was something I had to do. I either had to come out here or I had to stay out there with my cat, and, well, staying out there really wasn't an option. My dad had pretty much put his foot down and said that I had to either move out or move out, and I had some bad influences in my life, and a person that was fairly close to me that I figured that if I told them to go away, which I couldn't stand them anymore, I was afraid that they'd end up committing suicide, and I didn't know how to let them down proper. I'm terrible at things like that, so I tried to find the easiest way, and it worked out, and she's still alive to this day because of that. So
they're ex, by the way, so
yeah.
It was kind of a thing, but sacrifice is many things,
But the other thing was just jumping into uncharted waters and trying to figure it all out on my own, which has worked out pretty well for me, surprisingly. I really didn't think it would.
Now yeah, exactly, sacrifice. I mean,
and your next section is compromise, which has a lot to do with sacrifice. Compromise is supposed to be when 2 people sit there and say, well, I want this pizza, bacon and cheddar, and the other person says, well, I want pepperoni, and well, then you decide to get the pizza 50-50 if the pizza place will make it, and sometimes they do. Compromise is supposed to be down the center, kind of equal choice on each side. Like, somebody might want a new pair of shoes while the other person wants a new purse, and there's only $50, and well, the purse is $50 and the new shoes are $50. Only one person can get it. Well, maybe the compromise will be neither of us gets it, and we'll just go to dinner instead. Or neither of us get exactly what we want, but we'll still each get a pair of shoes. Mine will be a $20 pair of shoes, and you can have a $20 purse. I mean, that's kind of how compromise is supposed to work.
Let me put it to you this way. For example, Aaron's been good for the last 8 years. He made a compromise. I'm not going to tell you what the item was. But one day we were talking, and he knew what I wanted. It was one of my dreams. And he flipped through some of my catalogs, and he's like, holy moly, $2,000, $6,000, $7,000. One day I was looking through a book, and I says, I really want this one. He looked at it, and he says, you know, it's the same item you want, part of your dream, and it's only $800 or $1,000. It was $1,000. He said, go for it. That's the type of compromise. What happens? I looked at it. I got it. I have no regrets for it. And while people pay the same amount, it's like buying it's like taking, well, let's put it to you this way for car enthusiasts. I wanted, let's just say, a Cadillac. Instead, I wanted a top-of-the-line Cube, for example. It's Cadillac or Cube. Well, the Cube does the same thing the Caddy does. The Cadillac is a symbol. So I got something similar that's kind of like a symbol, but it isn't. And it was lower money, and I'm very happy with making that compromise. Whereas, you know, otherwise...
Sorry, I was compromising myself there. To do it or not to.
Anyways, the point is I got the item I wanted, and I made a compromise. And do I have any regrets of it?
I don't think so.
And then, yeah, exactly. So everyone compromise. Compromise is also give and take. He knows
exactly. And usually with me, it's give, and I usually don't take or want anything anyway. So I'm pretty much who needs compromise? I'll just give to the other party. Tends to work for me.
It was like I was trying to do something recently.
In fact, it tends to make me happy to give more and want less. So
it was like the other day, Angela, and I tried to compromise with her by saying, no, you know, I don't need a gift. You know, I told her I was going to send her a couple more gifts next month. And she's like, oh, I want to go to the mall and get something. It's like, I don't need anything. You know, that's a compromise from me to her, you know.
Sort of.
The other thing is, since we got up to 15 minutes, I'm going to speed this up, is, and this one's another one that I want to put together real quick, dependent or dependent of others. Now,
being independent or dependent upon others.
Exactly.
One should always strive to try to be independent. You should never have to live off other people, even if they're your family. You should want to get out and do things for yourself. If you were a parent, you probably wouldn't want your children living with you forever.
I would. As soon as they're 18, I'm breaking the spoons, the plates, and the cups, their chair, and the plate, and I'm throwing them out the door.
Actually, let me tell you a little story here about Rita. It's part of her life. She told you about how my life was, for the most part, before I came out here. We lived with her mother for the first year that I came out here. And when her mother moved, her family wasn't sure how Rita would deal with being away from her mother. She was a mama's girl. She had to be around mama. And she really didn't know how she was going to take care of herself, but her mom wanted to make sure that Rita could be independent. And essentially forced the issue, and her mom ran off to Texas so that we couldn't necessarily follow either.
Or my sister Caprice, which was another mama's girl, which always depended on mama.
Yes, even though she didn't live in the house, she had to live like a block away or
like
5 miles away, within driving distance.
Exactly.
She had to be able to come over every day. She had to be there to say, Mom, I need this. Mom, I need that. Mom, I need this. You know what? We don't need to ask our parents for anything, frankly. Even if you're 12 or 13 years old, you really shouldn't be asking your parents for anything unless you absolutely need it. For instance, an iPhone you don't need. It's just what others tell you have to have. And they'll actually make fun of you if you don't have it.
I got a crappy Samsung phone.
You can't have a
works.
job yet then, so you have to depend on your parents to do that for you. Now, as kids, we can, under 16, we should definitely be able to say, oh, get me a new pair of a couple shirts or some pants. I mean, those are things we can't do. But once we're old enough to get a job, it should be our duty to get a job and take care of ourselves. That's part of the learning process.
Or a sacrifice or compromise, since he was talking about jobs, is if you're on disability, like me and him, then we must manage properly without asking for mommy and daddy for help.
Yeah.
And I do quite well, so, you know.
There are points to ask for help, and there's points not to. You have to figure out whether it's going to be a burden upon others or not. So, yeah.
On that part. Now, the other thing is you know, well, do you want to finish the story about me on
I really don't think that last topic should be on today's. I think that should be on tomorrow's.
That's fine. We'll do tomorrow's. But do you want to finish what happened with me? You never finished the story about what happened with me when we came out here.
Well, Rita ended up dependent upon herself, and she was quite well at it. And then her mother needed to depend on others, and her mother came up here again. Within about a year or so.
2006 to 2009. Well, it's been 3 years.
Yeah, but then she moved back, and she needed others to take care of her at that point.
Because she was sick.
It ended up falling on Rita to take care of her mother, which was probably fair for her mother because her mother had done so much to take care of her.
And my mom used to say my sister, Cappy, was the one who was the breadwinner, was going to take care of her. But look, Cappy only came around for the last 3 weeks.
Yeah, pretty much, and then tried to take control of everything. Even made sure Rita couldn't see her mother.
For the last 3 weeks. I got to see my mom. The last day was the day she died, pretty much.
For like 5 minutes.
Yep, so, and the last topic will be tomorrow, I guess. So, you know, but yes, as you know...
This one's already 12 and a half minutes.
Well, I don't think this one here will have to be tomorrow.
Yes, it'll have to be tomorrow. Which we need topics for each
Yes.
Oh, by the way, if you have any topic suggestions, please...
Please put it in the box, yes. Tomorrow we're going to be on location to be cooking brats. So
we may be on location. If the weather might turn bad, we won't take the camera with us. We want to make sure that doesn't have any problems. So the forecast says it'll be nice, but we'll play it by ear.
Yeah, exactly. So, but anyway,
in fact, that's one of the good things in life is playing things by ear. I almost play everything by ear. It's like that video game Uncharted 2 where they're making fun of Drake because he basically says something about the fact that he'll make it up as he goes, improvise. And they're like, you have no clue.
You mean
what
like
you're doing.
Indiana Jones when he's sitting there and he goes, "So Indy, what are you gonna do?" And he says, "I don't know." And he says, "What? I'm gonna get the horses." And he says, "Well, now what?" And he says, "I don't know. I'm making this up as I go." This was in the third Indiana Jones.
Frankly, every single day I make up as I go. Yeah, there's certain things I do every day, but when I do it, where I do it, how I do it, that's all up to me. And actually, improvising like that tends to make my life a much better life.
Exactly. We all have to improvise.
I go into it. I don't care what I'm eating for dinner sometimes. I'll eat whatever. And that means that I can easily compromise with her. She wants pizza? Hey, pizza it is.
We got pizza on him.
She wants chicken wings? Fine, chicken wings it is. As long as we have it on stock or in supply or it's not going to cost us a lot.
So improvising is another thing that's a good topic for tomorrow as well as the
however, that one wouldn't go with the next topic. Well, anyways, we're at 14 minutes.
So please add and subscribe if you like. Please post comments in the box and please add us as a friend if you like. Thank you and have a nice day.
See ya.